Howdy, all.
Thank you for joining us today. Another Friday, another week has gone by. Goes by quickly.
It's life.
It's life.
I'm feeling old. Are you feeling older since last week?
Yeah, by 7 days.
It'll do it to you.
It seems like we did this 2 days ago.
We did. 3 days ago. Anyway, we're doing something a little different today. We're going to talk to Jeff today, who's
Jeff who?
Jeff Cooper, my
Thank you.
husband.
Not everybody knows that.
No, there's certain people that don't know that.
There's 99% of the people in the world, but there's that 0.01.
There's always that little
There's
gap.
always that little, you know. Okay, so we're talking to Jeff, and we are live on Culver City Biz, as well as my personal, and as well as the Culver City Car Show page. So if you have any comments or questions, please put them into the comments, and I will read them for you and answer any questions for you.
What are we talking about today?
We are going to relate it to the Culver City Biz, we are going to talk about being a nonprofit organization, okay, and putting on these massive fundraising events. And for personal, hey, we're just here to enjoy and have fun and look forward to tomorrow's.
Well, if we're going to talk about events and fundraising, why don't we talk about the car show?
Yes,
We're going to talk about the car show today.
I'm here. I'm an open book about the car show.
That's good.
So I know this is the 21st annual, but it's really the 22nd.
Because in 2020, obviously, that was the initial beginning of the COVID year.
Right.
We weren't able to hold the show, but we did have a car parade /
have a
rally throughout Culver City. In fact, I saw some people posting some photos where we wanted to give people a reason to get out in 2020. So in May of 2020, I think it was May,
Yeah.
we got out of our
It came
houses.
up on our memories today.
We were outside. We let our masks slip down to our necks, and we met up. We had a big car meetup in the parking lot of Fox Hills Mall. I do not call it Westfield.
Nope.
Just
Oh,
never word.
Fox Hills forever.
That's right. And then we drove the neighborhoods, and we let people know. We honked our horns.
People came out of their
People
houses.
came out of their houses. Everybody clapped.
waving to us.
Some people shook their fists because they were really annoyed by the exhaust of those hot rods coming around. But it was a fun morning, and I think people that came out of their houses, people that rode in the cars, it just felt like we had a moment of freedom because we were going through such a difficult period of COVID in those early months.
And tell them we had like 80 cars still during this parade.
That's impressive.
It was impressive.
One of the things I thought was odd was, I would occasionally drive to work on Almonte, and the freeway I'd get here in 15, 20 minutes, which never happens any other time. I always wondered why everybody wasn't driving around in the car. You wouldn't get sick, you wouldn't have to stay home, you could just drive.
We did that.
Very few.
Yeah, we did that every single day. We got out and took a drive.
A lot of drives to the
Right away.
beach.
Yeah,
I just said I was in a parade with one. It was great.
it was great. So, okay, so
So that was,
that was
that
2020.
was 2020.
Which is why this is called the 21st annual instead of the 22nd annual, in case you were wondering. So we covered that.
Put that calculator away.
So 22 years ago,
Yep.
you had an idea.
I had an idea. Go figure. Well, I was a member of the Exchange Club, and we make our money through a number of different ways. But those were my early years when I joined, and they had in the early years had a golf tournament, had a bowling tournament. They still had this 5K raffle and the steak dinner at the Elks Lodge. But I wanted to make my mark because I think I was president that year.
Probably.
And I wanted to make a mark and to come up with something different. So I thought, why not have a car show in downtown Culver City? Because I'd gone to car shows in the area, but they were kind of small. And I thought downtown Culver City would be just a beautiful palette to have a car show in, with the center of it being the Culver Hotel. And it would help a lot of the businesses that were downtown. Although in those early years, there really wasn't too many restaurants way back then, but
it became like a really nice, fun little small town feel.
Yeah,
kind of,
but we got the city.
you know.
Yeah, we got the city council. We had to go in front of the city council and ask them, hey, we had to give them a proposal and say, hey, we want to have this event in Culver City, in downtown Culver City. They had never ever shut down the streets of downtown Culver City prior for anything that I'm aware of. Maybe a gazillion years ago. I don't think it's
Before our time.
Before our time, they may have had parades, but in contemporary times, it had never been shut down. But we were able to get it shut down. And the nice thing about it, and something in the ensuing years, was the fire department it just coincides this time of year with their National Day of Service. So their National Day of Service was to have a pancake breakfast. It raises money for their philanthropic causes that their union does. And it became this sort of center of the community. People would come out for the pancake breakfast. And it just really became a true community event. What I mean by that is I go to a lot of car shows and they're more car-centric. You see more guys in black t-shirts with cars on the back coming and just talking cars, where at this car show, it's a reunion for a lot of people that went to Culver High, Venice High, Amity High, Westchester. They meet up there. You see a lot of strollers out there, probably more than my taste because I can barely walk through so many streets.
A lot of dogs.
A lot of dogs.
A lot of dogs.
A lot of dirty dogs.
But it's great because, and then there's a band, and so there's music, there's dancing.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
How many cars did you get that first year?
That first year we had about, I think, 380 cars.
Wow.
And how did you get the word out to get that many cars?
Marketing.
We went to a lot of car shows.
We went to a lot of car shows, and we put out a lot of little the car show posters locally, and we gave them all these little sheets about the car show, and that's how it was driven.
So between the time you started with the idea and presented to the council, how much time did it take before you actually got the show going?
It probably took, I'd say I started pretty much in November of the prior year.
Okay.
When we presented it to them, we had the idea that way back in September of the prior year, and we picked the day we picked, which was always the day before Mother's Day. And the reason was at that time there really wasn't any competing shows in the Southern California region, so we figured, okay, May 10th works really well.
Keep the date.
And we were able to make a relationship at the time with the Downtown Business Association, and that was run by a gentleman that owned Allendale's at the time, called Glenn Lakin owned it. And Glenn Lakin actually was at the time carrying a funky line of shirts. It's okay. Leave it alone.
Did it die?
Yeah, those are friends of mine. I think I have power. Check it out. But anyway, they had a funky line of shirts, and those line of shirts was Barris Autos, all these old cars. That was done by George Barris, who was the king of the customizers, Batmobile, the Monster Coach, the Monkey Mobile. I mean, you can just sort of go right down the line on all that. And so we got an introduction to George Barris, who had his showroom up in San Fernando Valley on Riverside Drive up there in Burbank. And we named the show the George Barris Cruising Back to the 50s because the big pull those first years was, hey, George was bringing a lot of his cars and a lot of his friends who had really important movie cars. So that brought the allure to it because obviously Culver City is the heart of Screenland and movie making, and really started here in the early 1900s before there was even any talkies.
Before there were condos.
Yeah.
That's right.
So someone is asking, what time does the music start?
The music starts right around 11 a.m. The music will start with our first band, which is Highway 66, I think is the band, if I've got it right. And then we'll have a break at 12 o'clock. And then at 1 p.m., our headliner, Little Willie G, who is the voice of The Midnighters, will come on for about an hour and play an hour set. And then we'll do the trophies from 2 to 3 because the show ends at 3 p.m., goes from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., but we're required to end the show at 3 p.m. Most of those folks are ready to take a hike because they've been out there all day.
It's 4 in the
It's
morning.
gonna be, it's gonna be baking sun tomorrow, so whatever your pleasure is, be it tanning butter or sunscreen, make sure to lather up. Do people put baby oil to tan anymore?
Oh,
Is
God, I hope
is
not.
that thing from a bygone era?
That's how you
I
burn
would
it.
say so.
Let me ask you.
The next question, wait, hold on, one more question from the same person, Christine. How old does a car have to be considered a classic?
Good question. We pretty much leave our show wide open. So at any car, if we've got some modern cars that come in, and we've got some old cars. And that's kind of what makes our show an interesting mix. You've got cars from the early 20s, the Model T crowd, all the way to contemporary cars that are just brand new cars that are out there, and people have modified them and done things to them. So in all decades in between and all shapes, versus there's a lot of car shows that are specific to certain eras or specific to certain makes of cars, but ours is just come on, come one, come all. And it's cars that are in all different conditions. So we have a new trophy actually entry this year called the Best Project Car. And what that trophy is going to go to, a best car that isn't a finished car, that somebody's gotten, that they're working on, maybe has not been completed. So our show just kind of encompasses so many different eras and so many different stages. And some people don't like the show because they want to have that finished car, and that's all they want to see is the best of the best. But our show is kind of open all. If you want that kind of car, hey, you've got the Concours d'Elegance and La Jolla. You've got Beverly Hills does a show, I think, on Father's Day, which has some amazing vehicles, and there are super finished cars. But
How many
It's
cars?
good, you have to stand out a little.
yeah, we go from funky to ferocious.
How many cars do we have in the show?
As of now, we shut down registration at 550 cars,
So
and then there's cars that'll register the day of the show, which
So you
happens
allow
to be
that?
tomorrow.
You
the
allow
question
people to come
people
in.
always ask, like I remember last year when he was asking, how do those cars, first of all, parking in Culver City is bad enough, but how do those cars get to their spots? Because you can't just drive in and let's go.
It's a fine dance.
We open up the gates and we close our eyes and they just find their way. No, it really is a mad moment. Really, not more than moments. It's a crazy 2 hours from 6:30 to 8:30 when we're staging cars. What we typically do is we bring in some larger groups. We bring them in at 6:30. We pre-stage them. They're larger groups, and they're pre-staged by coming into some of the in front of the Douglas. They start, and then we have a bigger group that comes in at Watsika. Then we have another group that lines up over at Main Street. And then the bulk of the cars, probably about 400 of the cars, they're lined up at Vets Auditorium. And then at 7:30, that's when we start bringing those cars from Vets Auditorium. And what they have is a police escort on a motorbike will bring down by we radio them, and they bring groups of 50 at a time.
And obviously there's designated parking spaces for each
Yeah.
group.
Well, we're basically, if you're there early, you're going to get the best spaces, and the people that show up towards the end, they're going to be a little bit further out.
But everybody gets a spot and it works.
Everybody gets a spot.
No matter what.
No matter what.
So at the end of it, how they get out? That's gotta be.
That's their problem, man. It ain't mine. I'm done by that time. No, we pretty much open up all the arteries leading to Venice Boulevard, leading east, west, north, south, and people just commence on leaving.
Thank you everyone who's watching. I have another question. Will there be lots of restaurants that are open?
All the restaurants, I hope, will be taking advantage, which I think they are, because
Last year, I'll be on Main Street with our truck. So last year, all those restaurants were like pretty much packed with people, spilling out.
when did my truck become our truck?
Whatever.
Don't make
Your
yourself.
truck.
You want to switch seats?
Who cares?
Part
I
of
don't
the-
drive it. Okay?
Part of the fun.
I let him use my driveway.
Part of the
True.
fun was that everything was
That's the
open.
truth.
So it actually helps the local businesses by everybody coming and seeing the car.
Believe me, the businesses need as much help. This is one of the busiest days. This is the largest one-day event in Culver City.
Yeah.
Hands down. Last year, we had 15,000 people. We're expecting in excess of that this year. I hope the heat doesn't keep people away, but the restaurants will have plenty of fluids. We will have some vendors that are serving light food, like kettle corn, ice cream, ices. One day I'll be doing all the agua frescas they'll be selling, but we're not going to sell any like burgers or hot dogs or any of those type of foods, because we really want people to patronize our great restaurants and use our restaurants.
And there are some really wonderful ones and some new ones that have opened up, like Bakari has opened up on Main Street, and then there's another new one.
Meat and basically Culver and Maine. Culver and Maine has opened up, and they're actually one of our sponsors this year. They really, I appreciate their generosity, and they're serving breakfast and lunch now. And I encourage you to go there, because there's not one of their dishes that are over $20, which in this day and age is something. And obviously S&W will be open for breakfast, and then Culver and Maine will be open for breakfast early, and of course the pancake breakfast. But all the restaurants will be happening. Jameson's will be rocking. Public school will be happening. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
So, I know we started this whole thing by saying that this was a fundraising event. So
Yes.
Could you tell them a little bit about the Culver City Exchange Club that is the people who are...
Yeah, I mean, the Culver City Exchange Club is a service club, and sort of the vein of like Elks or, Rotary, that kind of thing. But all of our focuses are philanthropic causes locally, not so much nationally. So every bit of money that we get from our fundraising, we give to groups like the Backpacks for Kids program at Culver City Unified School District. We give scholarships to a lot of kids that can't afford the after-school programs at the Y. We give money to basically scholarships for graduating seniors at the high school. We support a lot of the after-school programs at the middle and high school, be it the robotics team, the sports teams, and anybody that kind of really comes to us and needs a helping hand, we're there. And we've also expanded to support homeless vets. So once a year we have our Tribute to Heroes event in front of Vets Auditorium. Any locals probably see a lot of flags in front of Vets Auditorium, and all the money raised from that goes to New Directions, which is a homeless vets organization to help those ladies and fellas out that are in not such a great place.
And also the Youth Health Center, right?
Oh yeah, we give a lot of money to the Youth Health Center at the high school, which gives kids physical and mental health services for those that aren't insured and just need help.
And I know it's not a club that a lot of people know about or even think about.
We're trying to get the word out.
Yeah, like the Rotary is like a little bit more well known, I think, but in any case, the Exchange Club has been around for a long time, and
1948.
If you were in Culver City, raised here, whatever, you would have known about the fireworks show at the high school, and that was with the Exchange Club started that, and that was their big fundraiser up until recently, when I think it's just too expensive to do the fireworks show.
It just became prohibitively expensive. Plus, there was where we were having it is at West LA College, and they've begun more construction up there. It just wasn't feasible. But
It's dangerous.
really, the expenses, taking that into consideration, and just the times that we're in, unfortunately. And then I just saw this year that the Santa Monica show got canceled.
Yeah, because of funds too.
Yeah.
A lot of it. It's going to be a lot of shortages.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's tight,
But I think it's so expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
We whole other show on that.
But we try to do other fundraisers. This is a big fundraiser.
This is a big fundraiser.
We, in August, hopefully, if the city chooses us, because it was an open application period, we're hoping to run the beer and wine garden at the Fiesta La Bayona again. And that's a big amount of the monies that really
that raises quite a bit, right?
That raises quite a bit. And it's just the type of events we like to do. It isn't just about fundraising, but it's also another big subtext is bringing the community together.
It's family oriented as well. You see a lot of events.
Well, the beer garden, I wouldn't quite say it's a family oriented thing, but there's a lot of other things.
There's a lot of community in that, there's just And it's really interesting because if you grew up here on the west side, Culver City and Venice, you know, a lot of people know each other of the same two towns, and so it brings those two communities together a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's very interesting.
A lot of Mar Vista people come this way too.
Exactly.
Yeah. To get back to the car show, just a little bit about a little history of it. So really the first 10, 11 years of the show, we were downtown. And then the city began construction of the whole Steps project. So we had to get out of Dodge and move. So we went to Vets Park for several years. And then we moved over to the parking lot at West LA College for several years. And they were nice enough to accommodate us. And then actually our numbers went down on the cars attending, because to a lot of people that came to the show, the allure of what downtown brings was gone, and became just another car show, because there's plenty of car shows that are held at parks or on big parking lots. And so our numbers kind of went down, unfortunately, but we're happy to be back. It's our second year back. And it's just, when I think about all the crazy things that have happened, and all the wonderful people and bands that have played, from the Blasters to the Collins Kids, we had Joe Montagna as our
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno wasn't there.
Didn't he have like a car or something?
He had a car, but he never came down.
He didn't sing.
Yeah.
There's also, like, you know, in the past years, you guys have had like the Munster Mobile and things like that, right?
Yeah, we've had the Munster. So we've had the Munster coach, the Dragula. Actually, this year the Munster's coach is coming down, so come down and see that. And also so many pictures. We're going to have the, I guess there's that show with Shamar Moore, SWAT.
Yeah.
That's on, and we're going to have that big SUV, the SWAT SUV. They're going to bring out, and then they're also bringing out the Cobra Kai van from Karate Kid TV show.
Wow.
So we've had like older, TV cars in the past. We've had the Speed Racer car and different things. But sometimes when younger demographic comes down, it's not relatable to them. So that's why we're bringing something at least that people can relate to when it comes to movies and TV. But those connections have always been really important to the show, to have that movie part and TV part connected, because that's so much been the DNA of Culver City, and it's ingrained in its history.
Hi Anna and hi Laura, thanks for watching. Laura says that Beer and Wine Garden creates mini CCHS reunions. Yes, it does, definitely.
You got a question?
Yeah, I do. What's over
We
the
have to
years?
keep reading some of these too.
All right, I still have the question though. What is like the craziest thing that's happened? You must have seen a lot of stuff in 20 years.
We've seen
It's
a
huge
lot.
event.
It's,
What is one of the crazy?
there's been quite a bit of screaming and madness throughout the years, and particularly during load-in of cars, because you've got to be pretty assertive with a lot of these folks that you're loading in who've waited in line to cars. But probably one of the craziest stories was, I think, in our third year, one vendor that has some gang ties in Culver City, we'll leave it at that. But suffice to say, the police were monitoring a lot of their social media at the time. This is a while ago. And as they were monitoring their social media, they saw that a wanted murder suspect had posted on social media that they were going to be at the show. So it actually became, at the show, a sting operation.
Wow.
And sure enough, this guy who was wanted showed up at the booth, and at that time, in stealth manner, which at CCPD works, they just came in, intercepted this individual without incident, thank God, and nobody knew what happened if you didn't know, but that was one of the more colorful moments.
I have a theory that if you kill somebody and you're wanted, don't go on social media. Just
You think?
And stay the hell away from the Culver City Car
That's
Show.
another thing.
And actually just stay out of Culver City,
Stay away from the city.
because RPD,
They're awesome.
like Bachman Turner Overdrive says,
Yeah.
they take care of business.
Exactly. I got more comments and questions here. Rick Osti, so damn bummed to miss it. Happy birthday, Greg. I'm at the
Thank you, Rick.
pool and can't hear a thing. Okay, thanks. Christine you have more info on the Waymo?
Yes, I do have more info on the Waymo. And what I'm going to do is if you go to the Culver City Car Show Facebook page, after I hang up, I'm going to post a code that can be used tomorrow for up to 3 rides on Waymo that you'll get 30% off. So it's a special code to use. You will have to download the Waymo app, just like you would with Uber or anything else.
Yeah.
But if you do that, it'll be a lot easier way to go to the show. And that's one way to go to the show. Obviously, there's your car. We have the 3 city lots that are open on Watseka, Cardiff, and above the Trader Joe's. Also, we have the Culver City Transportation Department. Their shuttle is running back and forth, and you can park at Vets Auditorium, and the shuttle runs every 15 minutes or so, and we'll pick you up on the corner of Culver and Overland. So
And
there's,
Reds Park. And
or you can just use your little feet.
where does the shuttle drop you off?
It'll drop you right off at Lafayette. It has several stops in
Okay.
downtown because we have that, but the emergency lane open.
For people who go, now that you mention that, where's the best place to enter the whole thing?
It really doesn't matter. If you're coming from the Ponds area, you can just walk, just south on any of the streets that lead into downtown Culver City. You can come down Culver. If you're on the east side, just come west on Washington.
And the band is pretty much in the middle.
The band is right on the corner of Culver and Main.
Yeah.
And then one other thing is we actually have 2 bike valets. So if you're riding your bike there, there'll be 1 bike valet on the west end over by Culver and Duquesne. And then there'll be another bike valet on the east end over by Ince and Washington, kind of by the Erewhon store.
Okay, and what about the Culver Steps parking lot? Is that?
That's closed.
That's closed.
That's completely
That's good
closed.
to know. All right.
It's only going to be sort of open for the hotel guests that are, in or out, so they're not
Oh,
inconvenienced.
God, yeah, that'd be a nightmare.
And then I got some passes. Our talent, the bands, will be able to park in there also, just because since the stage is right there,
Right there.
we want them to drive up and unload all their equipment. And
Well,
stuff.
before the steps was built there, we used to use that little lot.
It was a parking lot.
Yeah, we used to
In the
use
day.
it.
It was pretty handy.
It was pretty handy.
Yeah.
Okay, Anna says, "Hi everyone, I'm amazed by all that you guys do to help the community. So admirable." Oh, thank you.
Very nice.
And this is this year's T-shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah, so stand
Yeah,
up
if you
and
can
show
see
them
it,
the back.
you can see the front.
Culver City.
The breastplate.
And the
Oh,
back.
don't-
Yeah, there you
no,
go.
that's not gonna help. All right.
Oh, good. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you
Yeah.
see it. And there you go. They will be for sale tomorrow at the car show, as will posters,
How much?
magnets.
How much for the shirt?
$25.
Good deal.
Unless you're quadruple X, then I think it's $30.
Relax. Is there such a
That's
thing?
fair.
we got some big kids that come to the show. They need big
Good
kids.
shirt. Yeah, that's okay.
Mhm.
So yeah,
What else do you want to tell them?
it's just I can't
Oh,
believe
you
that.
forgot to tell them about the burned cars.
Oh yeah. I read a story a couple of weeks ago, and you may have seen a couple of my postings about. It was in the Times. It was about this guy that had been going out taking pictures of the burn area. He lives in South Pasadena, but he was taking pictures in Altadena, and he started meeting people, and he started understanding that a lot of the folks, not only do they lose their homes, but they lost cars and a lot of car collections. There was a huge amount of people that live in the Altadena area that were car collectors, and just multi-generational families that had cars that were destroyed, and unfortunately most insurances didn't cover it. So he started a Cars and Coffee movement up there, and it's actually called Not EV. And there's a reason that this new group that he started on Instagram called Not EV is because when the authorities went around, and I think it was the EPA, and they were seeing all the contamination, they basically spray painted on all these older cars Not EV because they were not a non-electric vehicle. So out of that, this group was born, and they started holding a Cars and Coffee every Saturday morning up in Altadena, and a lot of those folks are going to be coming down as guests of our show, and we're going to be bringing out a kind of a burned out VW van that's pretty amazing how much the heat and the melted from
The
melted
damage.
glass,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to kind of view that and see that. It'll be by the stage. And then we're going to do a little bit of a fundraiser for them. So we will be selling raffle tickets during the show, stretches of them, and as many as you want for $1 a piece per ticket. And we will be raffling off, food at the local restaurants that generously donated to this.
Good.
But then all proceeds from that raffle are going to go to these folks, and that's kind of not only what our exchange club is about, but I think it's really shows the heart of Culver City and what we're about as a community.
Yeah, and Altadena really got kind of an unfair shake. I mean, Liberty General did when they got really burned up, but I mean, they were not paid much attention to it, I think.
Oh, it's a lot more horrific.
Yeah, people don't realize how bad that area was.
Yeah, particularly since most of the homes in Altadena are a lot older than even the homes in the Palisades. So huge amounts of lead-based paint, asbestos.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot more, unfortunately, a lot more remediation because of the contamination that's happened there. That's really just coming to light.
So it's good to be able to help and just to at least show some
That's what it's
recognition
about.
and try to do it. Yeah, I think it's great. You guys do a great job.
Hi, Andrea. Okay, I got another question. Somebody is asking vendor info, how many and what are they selling?
I think we have like roughly 60 vendors.
Wow, that many.
Yeah, we have 60 vendors from public community groups to light foods like I talked about, to jewelry people, to really whatever kind of tchotchkes under the sun that you can imagine, to car products, all kinds of different things. You just got to come down and walk it and see.
Yes. Tiffany says, I'm very excited. I'm so excited. Thank you, Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany.
Yes, and Anna says, very cool. And I think that pretty much you've covered everything now, right?
I'm just excited to go. I think it's going to be, not right now, I mean tomorrow. I think it's going to be fun.
I'm going to be really excited too when the day's over. It takes a lot of energy and work
Yes, he works
that many
very
of us in the Exchange Club put into this. So it doesn't just happen, but we appreciate not only the people that enter their cars and not only the vendors that buy booths that help support us, but also many of our sponsors, like Amazon is one of our sponsors. I told you about Culver in Maine. McGuire's is a sponsor. Hackman Capital, the owner of the steps, donated. Toyota is one of our sponsors. Westcom Credit Union is a sponsor. West Basin Water District is a sponsor. Todd and Kelly Miller Realty are one of our sponsors. I'm trying to think. Mattel is one of our sponsors. Culver City Volvo Mazda is a sponsor. So some great local community people that have really stepped up and recognized that not only is this great for the community, but they believe in all the work that the Exchange Club does and the monies that we dispense out in the community directly. And we don't have any paid people on our staff at all. We don't use any outside consultants.
It's all volunteer.
It's all 100% volunteer.
What time are you starting? What time are you going to get there?
I'm going to get there I'm going to be there at 9 p.m. tonight in downtown Culver City with several of my Exchangeite brothers and sisters, and we're going to be chalking for vendor spaces. And then tomorrow morning I'll be there at 5 a.m. And that's when the streets will close at 5 a.m. tomorrow, and then they'll reopen at 5 p.m. in downtown Culver City.
Best of luck with everything. I hope everybody can make it. I went last year. It was phenomenal.
Thanks.
I had no idea what to expect, and it was.
And then tomorrow's your birthday, so we're gonna definitely make a big deal and embarrass the shit out of you.
I thought that's why the show was being
Yeah.
filmed, but apparently there's other reasons you just explained. So thank you for that.
And yesterday we stuffed 600 goodie bags with some of these products like McGuire's and Mattel gives us to give to the participants of the car show. So that's a lot of work, and those are all going to go there. And there'll be T-shirts to sell. What else are you selling?
Posters and magnets.
And magnets. Okay, so those all those monies raised will also be, going to these charities. And years ago, you used to do more of a rockabilly thing, I remember.
We try to really alter our music. We've had rockabilly theme on the bands many years. We've had rock and roll. Last year we had more of a swing blues. We've had the Blasters in the past. We've had the Collins Kids. This year we're kind of making a focus of the car show, really honoring the lowrider Southern California culture. And so that was one of the reasons we picked Little Willie G, who's pretty much had some hit songs in the 60s. The guy's like 79, so we're looking forward to having him up there.
Wow.
But he has a great supporting band, and he's going to sing some really great songs. And, you know.
It'll be a lot of fun.
And actually, one other thing I'd like to say is part of the process is making the posters and the artwork. And I work with John Pelligo, Associates, local Culver City guy, and then now his son that works with us, John Jr. And we really just start the year out every year by kind of coming up with a new theme. I give them the theme of what I'm kind of thinking about, and they kind of come back to me with some of their visions of it and some rough artwork, and we just hone it down. And it usually takes about 2 months to really hone it down and get close to where we're at for the poster, for the colors, for the positioning, and it's a process, and I'm really proud of particularly this year's poster too, so I think you'll really enjoy it.
Excellent.
And I'm really proud of you and proud of the work the Exchange Club does.
Thank you.
Because it's really, it's amazing the amount of money that they donate to all these different charities and the stuff that Jeff mentioned. So it's a really good cause, and I love that you do it. Before we go, I do want to just tell everybody that, well, especially Earl from Fairfield Interiors, we had an event on Wednesday, our in-person event, and it was amazing. We had a full house. There wasn't any space left, and he has a huge place. I think we had over 100 people, and it was an amazing event. It was great food. Everything was wonderful. So thank you, Earl, for hosting us.
That's put on a really, really good party. That was great.
Yeah, it was great. Everybody loved it, and so it was a nice thing. Our next event is going to be on June 4th, and it's going to be our Biz Fair, located at the Veterans Park building in the Rotunda Room. If you do want to be an exhibitor to talk about your business, whether it's service or products, you can contact me, and we'll get you a contract and get you lined up for that, okay? And that's going to be probably from 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. I'm kind of fine-tuning the hours.
What was the date again?
June 4th. It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
Another Wednesday, because I can't get that room for another day. So,
All right.
but anyway, we're all set for that, and it'll be a really good event too. So, let me know if you want to be in that. And what else? Anything else you guys want to
I
say?
think we're good. Just make sure to come tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Dress
And thanks again. for
Dress
everything.
cool. Bring your water bottles. I'm sure the restaurants will get a lot of people.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are really going to the restaurants just
Yes.
to take a break
Just
from the
to take a
sun.
break from the
But come early is all I can say. Is that you come early, you can sort of beat the sun, and then, like I said, 9 o'clock, the fire department is serving a great breakfast, a real square meal. I think it's like $7 for pancakes, sausage, and eggs. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that go in there and a line gets out.
Yeah, and if you have kids, bring your kids. They can climb all over the fire truck and get a little plastic fire helmet, and
Yeah, a
I
lot.
want one. Those are great.
It's
A lot of
on
fun.
your head.
And if you
I've
want
already
to
got
come
that.
see me, I'll be on Main Street, so come see me, come say hi. I look forward to this every year because it's great to see all my friends
It is.
from Culver City and from Venice. So
Thank
come by
you.
and say hi. Thanks for coming out, honey.
Which one?
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.